Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets.
Sounds fun.
It is. Today we're diving into some pretty wild tech that's pushing boundaries in gaming,
Oh, cool.
infrastructure, AI, and even energy.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, we've got a stack of articles and research here.
Okay.
And our mission is to figure out not just the what, but the so what.
The so what?
You know, like the ripple effects and bigger picture questions these innovations raise.
Right.
To help us unpack all of this, I've got our tech expert with me ready to break it down.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, we've got news about the PS5 Pro coming out soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 4K resolution, 60 FPS, ray tracing.
Nice.
It's being touted as a supercharged gaming PC, but in console form.
Okay.
Plus a massive SSD.
Wow.
Sounds amazing. But with a $700 price tag, is it really worth it for someone who already has a PS5? What do you think?
Well, it seems like they're aiming this at two main groups. People new to the PlayStation world who want the best possible experience right out of the box.
Right?
And those hardcore gamers who always need the absolute top performance.
Oh.
Think of it like car enthusiasts who always want the latest model, even if their current car runs just fine.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
There's always that pull towards the newest, shiniest thing, right?
Totally.
But some people are calling this a mid-cycle refresh rather than a whole new console generation.
Uh-huh.
What does that even mean?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Essentially, mid-cycle refresh means it's not a brand new generation like going from the PS4 to the PS5.
Okay.
It's more like a souped-up version of the current PS5.
Gotcha.
It's a significant upgrade, for sure,
Yeah.
but not a complete overhaul. Think of it like getting a new iPhone that looks the same but has a better camera and processor.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And with so many games going digital only these days,
Mm-hmm.
that huge 2 TB SSD on the PS5 Pro is looking pretty tempting.
Oh, yeah.
No more agonizing over what games to delete.
Exactly. It's definitely a consideration in today's gaming landscape.
All right, let's switch gears now.
Okay.
We've got this fascinating article about Japan's plan for a massive cargo travelator.
Interesting.
Imagine this. A giant conveyor belt, like the ones you see at airports,
Right.
but stretching over 300 miles across Japan.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. It would connect Tokyo and Osaka
Okay.
and carry a mind-blowing 25,000 truckloads of cargo per day.
Now that's thinking big.
Right.
But you might be wondering, why go to all that trouble?
Yeah, why?
Well, it's not just about building a cool piece of tech.
Okay.
Japan is grappling with a serious labor shortage and an aging population.
Oh, I see.
This type of automation could be a real game changer for them.
So it's addressing economic and logistical issues all at once?
Exactly.
It's kind of genius when you think about it.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if something like this could work in other countries too.
Maybe.
I mean, traffic in any major city is already a nightmare.
It's definitely an innovative approach to tackling multiple problems.
For sure.
Plus, think about the potential environmental benefits.
Oh, right.
Fewer trucks on the road mean less pollution and fewer carbon emissions.
Good point.
It could be a win-win for the economy and the environment.
It definitely makes you think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into the world of AI now.
Okay.
There's this buzz about Google's new project called Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Yeah, it's basically like having a superpowered digital assistant
Okay.
that actually does things online, not just answers your questions.
So what kind of things?
Imagine booking flights,
Uh-huh.
shopping for clothes, or gathering information, all without even lifting a finger.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's like having a personal assistant living right in your browser.
Exactly.
The article even mentioned things like Jarvis being able to schedule appointments and pay bills.
Really?
It's pretty mind-blowing,
Yeah.
but also a little unsettling.
It's understandable to have mixed feelings.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that Jarvis is still in its early stages, just a prototype.
Mhm.
Google is being cautious with its rollout, which makes sense considering the potential impact of this kind of technology.
I guess it's like with any powerful tool, you have to consider the potential downsides as well.
Definitely.
How much do we trust AI with sensitive tasks?
Right.
What about data privacy?
Mm-hmm.
And could something like Jarvis actually replace certain jobs in the future?
Those are some of the big questions that come along with any AI advancement.
Yeah, it's all very exciting and innovative.
It is.
But we have to think critically about the implications as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a lot to consider.
For sure.
And speaking of AI and its growing demands, this brings us to another surprising connection.
Okay. What's that?
It seems all this fancy tech needs a lot of power.
Yeah, I bet.
And some big players are turning to a pretty controversial source.
What source?
Nuclear energy.
Nuclear. Wow.
The energy consumption of data centers is enormous.
Right.
And it's only going to increase as AI becomes more prevalent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Companies like Meta, Microsoft, and Google are exploring nuclear power
Interesting.
as a potentially carbon-free way
Yeah.
to fuel these massive operations.
So it's like a greener option?
Well, potentially.
Okay.
That's a bold move considering the public's often negative perception of nuclear power.
True.
And it's not without its hiccups.
What do you mean?
I even read this funny story about Meta's plans being put on hold
What happened?
because they found a rare bee species on the land they wanted to build on.
Oh, wow.
Just goes to show that even with advanced technology, you can still run into unexpected roadblocks.
You're telling me.
Right. But on a more serious note, nuclear power comes with those concerns about safety, waste disposal, and environmental impact.
Absolutely. It's a complex issue with valid concerns on both sides.
It's fascinating to think that even if you don't use AI directly,
Right.
these choices made by tech giants will eventually impact all of us in some way.
It really shows how interconnected the world of tech is becoming.
Doesn't it? Everything from gaming to infrastructure to AI and energy,
It's crazy.
it's all part of the same evolving landscape.
Yeah. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is amazing how all these seemingly separate advancements, like gaming consoles and infrastructure projects,
Yeah.
AI and energy solutions, are all kind of woven together in this evolving tech landscape.
Absolutely. And it's constantly shifting. That's what makes it so fascinating to follow, right?
Right.
But it also means we need to stay informed and ask critical questions about how these innovations will affect our lives.
Right, like we were just discussing nuclear power, it's a controversial topic for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people view it as a clean, reliable energy source, especially with the growing demand from data centers.
Right.
But others worry about safety risks and the issue of nuclear waste.
Exactly. It's important to acknowledge both perspectives.
For sure.
Proponents of nuclear power often point to its low carbon footprint compared to fossil fuels.
Oh.
It can provide consistent power output, which is crucial for something like a massive data center running 24/7.
But then you have those high-profile nuclear accidents,
Right.
like Chernobyl and Fukushima,
Right.
that understandably make people very nervous.
Yeah, definitely.
And the problem of safely storing nuclear waste for thousands of years, that's a huge challenge to overcome.
You're absolutely right. Those concerns are valid and can't be ignored.
Yeah.
Any decisions about nuclear power need to be made with extreme caution and transparency.
It's definitely a tough situation.
It is.
We need to find ways to power our increasingly tech-driven world.
We do.
But we also need to be incredibly mindful of the environmental and safety risks involved.
It's a balancing act for sure, but it's a conversation that needs to happen.
Yeah.
These energy choices we make today will have a ripple effect for generations to come.
Okay, let's take a break from the heavy stuff
Okay.
and circle back to something a bit more fun, the PS5 Pro.
All right. It's good.
We've talked about the price and the tech specs,
Right.
but what about the games themselves?
Yeah, what about them?
Do you think we'll see a wave of new games specifically designed to take advantage of this upgraded hardware?
It's a great question. Game developers are always pushing the boundaries of what's possible, so I'm sure they'll be excited to tap into the power of the PS5 Pro.
I bet.
Imagine games with incredibly realistic graphics, thanks to ray tracing,
I'm trying to picture it.
and gameplay that's super smooth at 60 frames per second.
That ray tracing technology, it's supposed to make lighting and shadows look almost lifelike, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be as amazing as they claim?
I think we can definitely expect to see games that really push the limits of visual quality.
Like what?
With more detailed environments, more realistic lighting effects,
Yeah.
and even more lifelike character models. It'll be interesting to see what developers can do.
And hopefully we'll also see some older PlayStation games get a boost from those AI upscaling capabilities.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine playing your favorite PS4 games
Right.
with enhanced graphics and performance on the new console.
Now, that would be pretty cool. The PS5 Pro could really change how we experience both new and classic games. It's an exciting time to be a gamer, that's for sure.
Let's hop back over to Japan for a minute.
Okay.
We were talking about their ambitious cargo travelator project earlier,
Right.
and I'm curious about the challenges they might face.
Like what?
I mean, building a 300-mile conveyor belt across a mountainous country like Japan
Yeah.
can't be easy, right?
You're spot on. This project will definitely encounter some significant engineering hurdles.
For sure.
Think about it. They'll need to navigate difficult terrain,
Yeah.
including mountains, rivers, and heavily populated urban areas.
And then there's the whole issue of earthquakes.
Oh, right.
Japan is prone to seismic activity,
Yeah,
so that travelator would have to be designed to withstand some serious tremors.
absolutely. Earthquake resistance would be a top priority, and then you have the ongoing maintenance,
Right.
keeping a 300-mile conveyor belt running smoothly, 247.
Yeah.
That's going to require a highly sophisticated and reliable maintenance system.
It sounds like a logistical puzzle on a massive scale.
It is.
But if anyone can pull it off, it's probably the Japanese,
Yeah, probably.
with their reputation for technological innovation and meticulous engineering.
I agree. They have a history of tackling ambitious infrastructure projects, so I wouldn't underestimate their ability to figure it out.
And if they do succeed, it could revolutionize cargo transport, not just in Japan, but potentially around the world.
Imagine the possibilities.
It's certainly a bold and innovative solution to some of the big problems facing modern transportation systems.
It is.
Now, let's bring it back to AI, where Google's Jarvis is still generating a ton of buzz.
Okay.
We talked about its potential benefits and concerns earlier,
Right.
but I'd like to delve a little deeper into the ethics of AI.
Okay.
As digital assistants like Jarvis become increasingly sophisticated
Yeah.
and integrated into our lives, we really need to consider the implications carefully.
You're right. It's not just about the cool factor anymore.
Right.
As we start relying on AI to handle more and more tasks, we need to ensure that these systems align with our values and don't create unintended consequences.
Exactly. For example, think about using AI in things like loan applications or job interviews.
Okay.
We need to make sure those systems are fair and unbiased
Right.
and don't inadvertently discriminate against certain groups of people.
It's like with any powerful technology, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
We need to be aware of both the potential benefits and the potential risks.
absolutely. We need to build safeguards into these systems
For sure.
to prevent unintended consequences.
Right.
And we need to be having open, honest discussions about the potential impact of AI as
Yeah.
it becomes more integrated into our lives.
It's a complex and constantly evolving issue, and one that we need to approach with both excitement and a healthy dose of caution.
It is.
We can't just sit back and passively consume technology. We
Mm.
need to be active participants,
Yeah.
asking the right questions, demanding transparency from developers, and holding tech companies accountable for the impact their innovations have on society.
Well said. It's a responsibility we all share. The future of technology is in our hands. We've covered a lot of ground today, from supercharged gaming consoles and ambitious infrastructure projects
Yeah.
to the ever-evolving world of AI
Right.
and the complex questions surrounding nuclear power. It's been quite a journey through the tech landscape.
It really has. We've seen how these advancements are tackling real-world problems,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and raising some really important questions about the future we're creating.
And it's fascinating how interconnected it all is.
It is.
The PS5 Pro demanding more power,
Right.
data centers potentially turning to nuclear energy, AI becoming our digital companions. It really highlights how tech is this constantly evolving ecosystem
Yeah.
where each piece influences the others.
Absolutely. It's not just about individual gadgets or advancements in isolation anymore.
Right.
It's about understanding how they all fit together, how they impact each other, and ultimately how they shape our lives.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, I'm curious what stood out to you the most from our discussion.
That's a good question.
Was it the sheer scale and ambition of Japan's cargo travelator?
Maybe.
The potential of Google's Jarvis to become our go-to digital assistant?
Could be.
Or maybe the ethical considerations we need to grapple with as AI becomes more powerful?
For me, what's most fascinating is how these advancements force us to confront some fundamental questions
Okay.
about our relationship with technology.
Like what?
How do we balance progress with sustainability?
Right.
How much control are we comfortable handing over to AI? And how do we ensure that these innovations benefit everyone, not just the select few?
Those are big questions,
They are.
but they're crucial questions to consider.
Definitely.
And it's not just up to the tech companies to figure it out.
Right.
We, as consumers and citizens, have a role to play in shaping the future of tech.
I completely agree. We can't just be passive consumers of technology.
Yeah.
We need to be informed, engaged, and willing to ask critical questions.
Exactly. Whether it's making conscious choices about the products we buy
Uh,
or participating in discussions about the ethical implications of AI,
mhm.
our voices matter.
We have the power to shape the direction of technology.
Yeah,
And that's a responsibility we shouldn't take lightly.
well said. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Bite-Sized Tech.
Mm.
We hope we've sparked your curiosity, challenged your assumptions,
And hope so.
and given you some food for thought about the exciting and complex world of technology.
Remember, the future isn't something that just happens to us.
Mhm.
It's something we create together.
Thanks for tuning in to Bite-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.